this is Eran Stern. Welcome you to another tutorial, but this time, as Monty Python used to say, something completely different. In this episode I like to share with you a clever preset I've developed using a little help from my friends. Okay, enough with those quotes and let's roll the curtain on what I have in stock for you. This is all about a preset named Marker Leaks, which in a nutshell will let you use markers to set some automatic actions for your comps. You can use it to transition between videos, make flashes at the beat of a sound, or even design and impact promos for your products. All with minimum efforts and maximum control. Before we begin, I must take my hat off and thank my friend Jerzy Drozda Jr. aka Maltanan for helping me to improve this preset and also to pack it as a custom effect so you can use it almost like a regular plugin. For that, I need to show you what you need to do in order to install it. I'll go through the procedure very quickly, but if you need more detailed explanation, there's a full tutorial at Maltanan website. We'll get there soon enough and I'll show you where it is. For now, I'll assume that you already downloaded the preset from the tutorial page at the cow or from my website. Once you saved the zip file, unpack it to your desktop, make sure After Effects is not running, and then go to the After Effects folder. On the Mac side, it should be under Applications, Adobe After Effects. Then choose the After Effects app, right-click on it and select Show Package Content. Next, open the Contents folder and under Resources, you will find a file named preseteffects.xml. Press Command I and make sure all privileges are set to read and write. Then you can close all the folders. On the PC side, you need to go to Computer, C Drive, Program Files, Adobe, Adobe After Effects, Support Files, and look for the same file, preseteffects.xml. Right-click on it, choose Properties, and make sure the read-only tick box is not selected and then press OK. Rest assured we are not doing anything which will harm your system, but in case you don't want to do this, please note that we also supplied you with a regular preset which you can simply drag to your AE preset folder and it will function the same. It might say that something is missing, however, it will perform the same, I promise. Alright, we are not done yet. Now we need to install the custom effect. So let's navigate to Maltanan website. There under Custom Effects, we'll use the Custom Effect Installer. Here in this page you can see the tutorial I was referring to earlier, and you are more than welcome to watch it if you want to learn more about this technology. In my case, I'm ready to install, so I'll press on Install Now. You should now see the Air Application Installer running. When it is ready, you can press Open, then approve the install and press Continue. You may get a security warning which you need to approve, and after that you can finally drag the CE markerleaks.polyce onto this icon. On the right side here, it will tell you the minimum version of After Effects required to run this preset. AE8 stands for CS3, so this will work on both CS3, CS4 and above. Next, press Install. Now locate your After Effects program folder and approve. Once you're done, you'll get a message that the installation was successful and we are ready to go. Now, as the technical stuff is behind us, let's go into the interesting stuff. I'll launch After Effects and open my working project. I'll open the first comp, the Catwalk, and I'll create a quick run preview to show you our fine model stepping on a catwalk lane. This comp uses a free clip from Crowd Control Library. You can download the same clip from allbetsareoff.com by Aaron Rabinowitz. As far as I know, these free clips are usually time sensitive, so the availability of it will depend on when you'll watch this tutorial. Anyway, this is a great website with thousands of video clips with Alpha Channel ready for you to compose it. I recommended it before and I'll continue to do it until I'm convinced that everyone on the planet has heard about it. Okay, I'm carried away a little bit, but you do get my point. So, back in our comp, we see that this comp is almost ready for prime time, except I may want to add some camera flashes, especially when this woman gets close to me and waving hello. I think it only makes sense to capture this moment. There's also an audio layer here with a camera shutter effect. So let's enable this clip and duplicate it a few times. Then let's spread these audio effects where we want them. I'll make sure that a bunch of them will be between 4 to 8 seconds where she's very close to us. Next, I'll go to the effects and presets and start to type the word marker. As you can see, apart from my preset, there's also some built-in presets that deals with markers. These presets are great and I welcome you to try them. Please note that they can only serve one task at a time, so they can affect either opacity, light, or scale. They are also set to work with milliseconds instead of frames, which for me make less sense. So as I said, you can investigate them, but instead of invoking those, let's apply the CE marker leaks under the SternFX folder. Once we apply the preset to the main video layer, we can close all the effects here, deselect, and then reopen just the first effect. STFX, which is SternFX, marker leaks. You don't need to work or touch anything on the other 4 effects here. You know what? I'll strongly recommend not to play with any effects with parentheses on. Okay, so we applied the effect and nothing happened yet. This is because we must set some markers on this layer to activate this preset. So make sure that your video layer is selected, then hold Shift and move the CTI near the first camera shutter effect. Then press the asterisk key on your numpad to create a marker. If you don't have access to a full keyboard, you can always go to Layer and choose Add Marker. Now, as we have one marker, we can see that the screen goes completely white. And if you'll scrub around this area, you'll see that it also scale up and blur as well. This will work according to the marker place on the layer. So if I'll move the marker, all the effects will move with it. Pretty cool, huh? But let's take it one step at a time and analyze it. For this example, I don't want the scale and the blur. So on the target scale, I'll set it to 100%, and for the target blur, I'll set it to 0. This will reset the scale to do nothing, and same for the blur, but it will still leave the flashlight in place. So now I can add more markers to this layer, so we'll have more flashes where the camera shutter sounds is present. I'll do so by holding down Shift and move the CTL, which then snaps it to the endpoints of each sound below until I'm covering the whole timeline. After doing so, I'll create a RAM preview to view the result. Okay, not too bad, but I think that the default length is too long for us. So let's change that by going to the effect window and changing the global time offset to maybe 3 frames. Then let's create another RAM preview. Note that we can set the time settings for each of the parameters individually, and we will get to that soon, but for this case I think we are good to go. So here you have it, a quick and easy way to create light flashes. Do remember that you can move the markers anywhere you like and the effect will follow it automatically. So basically that's the beauty of this preset. Just make sure to take the corresponding audio with it so you won't lose sync. Anyway, we are just scratching the surface here. Let's move to the next comp and see what else we can do with this preset. This paragliding comp hosts some beat audio layer with few clips I took near the cliffs of Netanya City, where there are heavy paragliding activity all year long. As you can tell, I've already placed few markers on the audio clip. If there is a need, you can do it in real time by selecting the audio layer, and once it is playing, just press the asterisk key to set markers according to the beat of the sound. I already took care of it, so let's watch this timeline as is before we'll continue. Beautiful, huh? That's right, I hear you. Admit you're jealous. It's okay, me too. I also want to do some paragliding instead of working now with After Effects. Anyway, let's see how we can improve on this edit by using the Marker Leaks preset as a transition between those edits. In this case, I'll create a new adjustment layer. And to this adjustment layer, I will apply the CE Markers Leaks once again. I'll close all the effects and drill down only the first one. Now, we need to find some way to copy all the existing markers from the audio layer to the adjustment layer. You can of course do it manually, or you can go to this website, redefineray.com. From here you can download this nice script named RD Copy Markers. This small script allows you to copy markers from one layer to another. Once you place it in the scripts folder of the program, you can select the layer which holds the markers, then hold Command or Control and select the layer you wish to target, and then go to File, Scripts, and choose RD_copy markers. And boom, your markers are copied. Cool utility from Mr. Jeff Almasol. Thank you, Jeff. I recommend checking the other scripts on this website. You may find more cool stuff and they are all free of charge. Great. Do you see what we have here? Over the years, we managed to build a great community from passionate users around the world. It's not just Aaron and Jersey, it's also John, Andrew, Harry, Lloyd, Stu, Mark, Chris, Trish, Steve, Jeff, Carl, and many other talented users who are adding their knowledge and free stuff almost each day. Wonderful, I love it. I think we should stop for 1 minute and say, thank you guys, we love you. Okay, another swept away moment here, but let's get back on track and return to the project and see what happened. Basically, where we place those markers, we have now an action which performs as a transition, which is also synced to the beat of the drum of the sound. Now let's work on it a little bit. In this case here, I'll dismiss the global time offset and set different values for each one. For the light leaks, Let's set it to 5 frames and also change the light color to a tint of orange. Then change the target scale maybe to 150, and just for fun, or maybe just for fun, let's change the blur leaks to, I don't know, maybe 7. This will make each one of these settings to behave differently and will make our comp happier, I think. Let's play this now and see what we have. Very nice. By now I hope you get the idea. Without this preset, the same work will take much more time, and if you need to change something, you obviously must go to each transition and adjust it manually. By the way, if you like, you can also set keyframes for each of the settings above. For example, say we want to change the light on each marker. By pressing the letter K and J, you can move between those markers and set keyframes on each one of them with a different color, like I'm showing you now. Also, don't forget that because we are working with an adjustment layer, it is always a good idea to test some blending modes and discover interesting results. In this case, I'll show you just one example by setting my layer to the soft light mode. Now I'll create another RAM preview. You see, this results with a unique echo effect transition due to the scale bounce effect. You may like it, you may not, but hey, this is the meaning of art, huh? By now, I hope you get the potential of this custom effect. If you like to see another use for it, I have one more example just for you. In this last example, I'll show you how you can create an effective promo using only one line of text and one video footage in a matter of minutes. For this, I'll open Comp3 Short Promo, where I already laid a short epic sound with few markers on the impact point of it. Here, take a listen. Alright, now let's create some visual action to match it. I'll begin with a quick background design. By choosing the rectangle tool and double clicking on it, I'll create a shape layer here. I'm using a radial gradient with black and green as my colors, and I'll take the tiny dot which defines the gradient endpoint and stretch it outside the comp like so. I'll close the layer now and rename it BG for background. Back in the project panel, I'll open my footage folder and drag the last 2 clips here to the timeline. The first clip is a butterfly image courtesy of artbeats.com. As you know by now, my favorite web source for royalty-free clips. I'll press Command Option F or Control Alt F on the PC to fit this clip to the comp dimensions. Then I'll select the ellipse tool and double click on it to create an oval mask around the layer. I'll press F and set the feather to maybe a radius of 150 or so, and then I'll change the mask expansion to show what I need from this clip. Final step here I think is to change the blend mode of the layer to the hard light mode. Now I'll take the texture and put it above this video. My textures comes from textureking.com. I'll select it and change the blend mode for it to maybe soft light. Alright, looks promising, and we have something we can work with here. Now let's create our text. I'll right-click anywhere on the comp and choose New Text. This will create a placeholder for the text in the middle of the screen. Then I'll type my first title. This summer. Once I'm done, I'll press Enter to approve the creation of the text. In order to work with the Marker Leaks preset on text, I'll suggest to always pre-compose your text layer. This isn't a must, but I found that it will perform much better when you work like this, and also it will allow you to easily change the text after the fact if needed. Before we'll pre-comp the layer, let's copy the markers we have on the audio guide. So once again, select the audio layer first, then select the text layer, and then go under File, Scripts, and apply the RD Copy Markers script. Now make sure that only the text layer is selected and choose Layer Pre-compose. Let's name this Text and choose to open the new composition. In this comp, go under the first marker and trim the layer to begin there using Alt plus the left bracket key. Then open the text layer and under Text set a keyframe for source text. Now move the playhead under the second marker, double-click the text and let's input the second phrase here. Oh, by the way, I'm using here a free font named Hunting Attraction. You can search for it on the web, but since this is a free font, we might need to fix some kerning problems which sometimes happens with non-commercial fonts. A small price to pay for free stuff, right? Alright, but now let's keep it simple and continue to type our text, and later we'll fix those issues. So I'll write here, they are coming, and press Enter. Next, move under the third marker and repeat the same trick. This system will change the text message using the constant keyframe mode. This means that the text will suddenly change its appearance on every hold keyframe we are generating. So under the third keyframe, I'll write down to get you. Now, who is coming to get you, you're asking? Well, move to the fourth keyframe and type down the Mothman. Yep, that's right, it's the Mothman. Very, very scary creatures, don't ask. Okay, now under the fifth marker, I'll type are here. I know it doesn't make sense, but bear with me for a moment. And then under the last six marker, I'll type or not. Lovely. So let's check our message. This summer, they're coming to get you. The Mothmen are here. Or not. Wow. Punchy and strong. Okay, let's quickly correct the spacing between the words by going to each keyframe, placing the cursor between the words, and while holding down Alt or Option, press the left cursor arrow until it looks right. I'll do this quickly for the rest of the lines here. After I'm done, I'll select the whole text layer and lower it down so it will sit in the middle of the screen. That's perfect. Now we can return to the main comp and make sure we have those markers on the text comp as well. So by now you should know the drill. Select the audio layer, then select the text layer, and apply the copy markers script. And now let's have some fun. Take the CE Markers Leaks preset and apply it to the text comp. Now let's watch the default behavior for a moment by creating a RAM preview. Okay, looking good, but with a couple of adjustments we can make it better. So let's disable the global offset and set the scale to 300%. Then let's set the blur to 100% and also change the blur leaks to 5 frames. I'll make sure to activate the motion blur for the text layer and for the whole comp as well, and let's watch it once again now. Alright, a little better, but I think we can improve the readability of the text by selecting it and then going under the layer menu and apply a drop shadow layer style. I'll quickly open the layer and change the drop shadow to a higher value, maybe 90% on the opacity, and then give it 8 pixel distance, and also let's raise the size to around 10. Great. Now maybe we can also wiggle the text just to give it a little bit movement in place. I'll select the layer and press P. Now I'll enable an expression by holding down Alt or Option and type wiggle open parentheses 1, 50 close parentheses. Then I'll press Enter. And I'll also make sure that I can see the parent column. If not, let's right click here and choose it from this menu. Alright, then select the layers below, which are the butterfly and the texture, and let's parent them to the text layer so they all move together. For dessert, I'll add another adjustment layer on the top of all the layers here. Then copy the audio markers once again using the same trick I showed you before. And once you did it, to this layer let's drag another copy of the marker leaks preset. And this time let's set the global time offset to 5 and maybe choose a bright turquoise color. This will work very nice, I think. Now let's make sure that all the layers are marked with the motion blur switched on and create our final render. Well, I think I've made my point. Using timeline markers as our guide, we made this popping animation speaks for itself. If you also think that this will be useful for your work, don't hesitate and download these free custom effects now from my website or from the tutorial page on the Cow website. Then send me a link and show me your work or post a comment on my blog. Once again, I wish to thank Maltanan, who helped me to finesse the code and convert it to a simple custom effect easy to use. I can also hint that I know for a fact that Maltanan is working on a set of presets and custom effects that will make it easy to animate things on and off, trigger actions and stuff according to markers. So watch his website as well for an upcoming updates. As for me, if you want to say thank you, why don't you grab one of my AE DVD training at Creative Cow store? I promise you won't regret it. So, until next time we'll meet, this is Eran Stern for CreativeCow.net saying goodbye.